Hello, this is a voiceover recording of a Salotto recorded match between myself, Sean Lewis, and Rachel Hall. Rachel is a 329 Fargo at this time. My Fargo is 665. Playing a race to 9, 10 ball. So I try to shoot this. See, dry break. The 5's a little bit tied up with the 10. So on this shot, I'm trying to make the 1 and then bump the 9 to hold it for the 2 ball. He's a little bit of right English and barely hit it, but actually it was pretty close. If I would have hit it in, I think it would have been fine. She's stuck up against the wall here, which is a little bit of a brutal thing. So the short cue comes out. It barely passes the 2. I remember the shot, so I end up shooting it past the 2 into like a half a pocket. Just hitting it as accurately as I can. The 2's right there, so there's going to be pretty automatic shape. So I'll just play this with draw and left to the middle of the table or thereabouts. Just going to roll this ball in, and I'm trying to get an angle to attack the 10-5 cluster. So I leave it pretty thin to where I can thin it. And I'm trying to go 2 rails here to hit the other side of the 10, not the close side. I ended up just bumping the 7 right into it and broke it out. Although this is pretty tricky. I'm going to cut this all the way down and play underneath the 6. Ideally through the window of the 7 and the 10 to touch the 8. So this table has a little bit wider pocket, so I definitely am going to be attacking more. Bump the 10 and just ended up pretty much perfect, actually. So I think I just have to stun this. I'll use draw to give me an angle. A little bit elevated over the 9. A little bit high ball and a little bit of right on that. Here I'm playing to try to draw past the side, but I end up scratching. I remember that. Maybe I should have drawn it to the chalk and then went 2 rails instead. So here Rachel lines up for this draw shot. I would have played it in the side just to leave myself an angle to come down table. Made it. Didn't draw enough to get a good shot. Calls the kick shot. And made it. Scores 1-0. My break. I try to break from the side just to see how it goes. Normally I break from the center. And just because I've never done it on this table. But it didn't get any good action. So I think I'm going to just probably break from the middle of the table the rest of this set. Rachel made a good shot there. Now you just play high right, 1 to 2 rails for the 3. Looks like just straight high is what she used there. So it just went forward. A little bit of right English makes it come above the 9. So now I'd probably just use follow and go 2 rails. Maybe I couldn't see it right. I thought it was going the other way. So in that case, I would have used draw to stop the ball if I can go that direction. I don't know if the 4 went past the 10 or the 7 there, so if it did, it seemed like the right shot. So the 7 and the 10 are frozen together, so the 7 doesn't go. So I'm looking at trying to figure out what to do with that. So I think I decided to get a little bit of angle on the 6 ball so I can break it out. A little bit steep on it. It's just left English. Missed it. I was hoping that if I came from that side that it would be safe if I missed, but I think a little bit of a shot. Probably what I would have done there is thinned off of the left side, assuming you could have hit the left side and played safe. But this worked out pretty well. I'm going to try to bank it in the corner. Hit a little bit short. Ideally, the speed is such that you can't just make it in the side. This is just follow. I think bank shot's fine here. So I just gotta hit this pretty soft to play for the 9. If I'd have banked that 8, I probably would have played for like a draw shot. So I could play straight in on the 7 unless you're planning to bank the 9 in. Got away with it. And I got stuck up against the rail, so I have to use the short cue here. And I did not chalk it, so I ended up miscuing a little bit and missed. So here, 1 to 2 rails for the 10. Either just one rail with follow, whatever the natural is. Overcut it slightly. Probably here I just use follow. Use a little bit of draw, so drew into the scratch. Scores 1 to 1. Made a ball. Maybe try to bank this ball. You could also play safe by banking it 2 rails, playing your cue ball behind the 4. Like that, but a little bit softer. So I'm going to draw into the 9 just to bump it away so that I'm not hooked behind it when I shoot the 2. Might have been a good idea to hit that a little bit harder to move the 9 further, but I think it's fine. A little bit elevated over the 10, so I'm just going to make sure this is good. I had a little bit full, got away with it though. I didn't want to draw so far and try to play in the side if I get too much English. Because all I really got to do is here play like kind of a stop shot or a little bit of draw for the 5 straight in, and that's a stop shot. Leave myself the angle for the 6. So I'm leaving myself a stop shot on the 5 so that when I shoot the 6 now I can play a little bit of left English and come around 2 rails or 1 rail depending on the angle. I can't remember what I need to do. I think 2 rails. I want to ideally come up just a little bit above it. Left myself to where I was trying to go past the 10, but I ended up bumping it. End up with not much. So I think I play a bank on the corner. But I missed. She's gonna have to get the short cue out, I think. It's just level cue, take your time. Drilled it. 2 to 1. My break. Made the 1, made the 7, left myself a bank on the 2 in the side. I don't know what's really available for the 3 if I shoot that shot. I called it. Yeah, I was just trying to get out as far as I could, so I got pretty good there. This shot I was trying to play perfect tangent line, but I ended up bumping the 8. Maybe I should have banked it with follow. I was a little bit on the wrong side of the pocket for that, though, I think. I was trying to play it safety to the side rail, to the end rail, and under the 10, but I ended up scratching. So these balls are pretty open except for the 8 and 9. From the 6 to the 8 is the tricky part. I think you want a little angle from the 6 to the 8. Pretty much everything else is however you like. I was thinking this is pretty good. High right. It's a good idea. Just didn't get there. I think I'm playing for this 8-9 combo because I don't have much choice to where the 6 is at. Just gotta make sure you just visualize the 9 going in and then the 8 hitting it in the right spot and then the cue ball hitting the 8. Eight's sitting nicely, so I'm just gonna play low right, 1 rail, maybe 2 rails depending on the speed. Overruled my position just a little bit. The table's a little bit unlevel at that side of the table. It's not very noticeable though, just a little bit. I managed to get through that. Cue ball control is pretty good on the break there. Didn't make a ball. I was trying to shoot that past the 4. A little bit of a quick stroke, I think. So I'm just playing safe. I'm going to hit it thin. Try to shoot the 2 over to the other side of the 7. Leave the cue ball. Have it bump the 3. Here I think you can play safe by playing off the right or off the left side of the 2. You could also bank the 2 to the other side of the 8 and let's leave the cue ball in between the 7 and the 9, like tough married up to them. Then it would be like tough to bridge over them. So the 2 passes into the side, and I'm going to just go full into the 8 with follow after I make the 2 in the side to play shape for the 3. Oh, excuse me. That's not what I did here. I did play the 2 ball in the corner past the 8, and I used the 5. That's right, excuse me. Same principle though. So here I have a little bit of an angle. I'm just trying to play it to the middle of the table or a little bit past it for this 4 ball. It's just high ball, touch of left. Way more than I was trying for. It's fine though. I'm going to leave myself an angle so that I can play the 7 in the corner. So here this is like a lot of right English and good speed. A little bit of a conversation happened, that's why I didn't shoot right away. I think I'm just going to play this in the corner so I don't have to move the cue ball too much. Came down table just a hair more than I wanted. So now I'm going to use a little bit of left spin. Pretty good angle. A little bit of left English, running English is what I like to do here. It's 3-2 here. Not sure what happened, Rachel. I must have forgot what the break was, whose break it was. It was supposed to be my break. I was going to bring coins and I forgot. I'll have to remember to do that. That was just left English to get the cue ball to come straight off the rail. Yeah, I just bumped that ball out by hitting it, the two balls pretty stiff into the pocket rather than try to draw, bump the ball, whatever it was. Yeah, I was trying to get to the middle of the table. I came up to the right side because I needed to be fuller on this shot. Trying to go 4 rails, but I hit the 6. This shooter's option. She gives it back, so I just play behind the 7. This one I might have tried to kick it in from the other side. End rail. Masse, but not enough to get anywhere. Even if just to get the spin on it, it was a good hit. Just needed more power on that to do something. That was draw and right English. Came up short. This is about where I started figuring out that the table wasn't level. So I just had to avoid the scratch in the side. So it's 4-2. I may have mismarked the score here on the app. There's no way to know till we get to the end, though. So I can't make it without scratching in the side. So I opt to play a 1 rail kick shot. And because the 2's all the way down there, it works for the shape, natural shape. I'm using the short cue also. And I made it. So now I'm going to use draw and left English. I think I choose to draw in left English here as well. No, just stun. So now I think it's just high ball to come up for the 6 in the side. Nope. Yep, that was what I was doing. With a little bit of left English to get the turn. So now I'm going to bump the 10 on purpose here. That actually gives a little bit more room in the middle of the table for that to open up my shot for the 8 ball. Try to get back to the middle of the table with this. Let's try to come off the rail just a little bit. All right, score's 5-2. Balls are pretty tied up. I call the corner bank. Got safe. So I got ball in hand here. It's a pretty tough out though. The 4 ball is difficult to get on because it's behind the 10. So I'm playing to get an angle on the 3, and then ideally I need to bump the 7 when I go past the 5 to give myself a shot on the 4. It's pretty low percentage but I know that I can kick at it and play safe behind the 10 if I get hooked. So it's actually not really that low percentage. So I got the angle that I wanted mostly. The thing I don't want to do here is hit the 10 or hit the 5, excuse me. I was about a half ball off the line that I needed to be on. So I play a kick and try to kick it in the corner and stop the ball so I can still make the 5. Got the stop shot part and then missed the 4. Unfortunate scratch. So I'm playing the window between the rail and the 10 ball. Playing it over to the side to shoot the 6. Yeah, so that was just draw and right English. Now this goes in the side. The 7 goes in the side, so I'm going to play 1 rail to the end rail. The 7 in the side. I'm trying to draw to shoot the 9 in the corner. Almost hit it too full to make it, but I just got enough. Draw with left. Too soft. Left myself the bank. So I think Rachel's asking me about the break shot, so I'm explaining now in 10 ball, when you break from the center, you have a higher percentage chance to make the 2 balls that are behind the 1, and then the 2 end balls that are on the corners will go 4 rails and potentially get pocketed. So there's really like 4 balls that you have a good chance to make. The 1 could also float to the side or to the corner. So there's really 5 balls that are like have targets. And I don't know further than that, although I guess if I spent more time on it, I could figure that out. So that's what we're talking about. Because I decided to break from the middle after a couple breaks.
But this one was supposed to be.
I probably would have tried to draw that ball. There's a little bit of weird cueing. This shot I might shoot 1 rail. So I'm playing the speed of this. I have to masse and swerve it. I'm playing the speed of it to roughly come out to give me something. I'm hoping for something. End up really nice. So I'm going to use left English, go into the side rail and back out. Or I may stun, but I think I used the left English shot. Or the right English shot. So I think I just cheat the pocket here. Yeah. It looked like there was an angle, but there was not much, so I just had to barely cheat the pocket and twist it in. I'm just going to try to draw back roughly just straight in. A little bit too far, so now I got to punch to the side rail, back to the middle. Pretty standard out from here. Seven to 2. Drew into the scratch, but the spread was nice. So I'm picking an angle here on the 1. It gives me a stop shot to get shape for the 2. So the stop shot on the 1 will give me shape. That was just a punch. I was going to draw back for the 4 in the corner. Yeah, ideally on these shots, I just use the minimum queuing action. Be as efficient as possible. Draw, straight draw.
Sorry.
Another draw shot. Just trying to leave myself to where I'm playing.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, I had an angle, so I had to punch it out. I didn't see that. A little overrolled it. I need to roll this. I need to just draw here and draw exactly to the side rail. I came up too far. Now I gotta shoot it left-handed. And I don't really have a natural angle. I came up short. And that was it, I think. Yeah, I definitely skipped one game there. My bad. See if Rachel is actually watching to the end and mentions it when I see her.